Okay, this is linear applications, part 2, and we're going to start with number 41. So 41 says this: a Central Railway freight train leaves the station and travels due north at a speed of 60 miles per hour. 1 hour later, an Amtrak passenger train leaves the same station and travels due north on a parallel track at a speed of 80 miles per hour. How long will it take the passenger train to overtake the freight train? All right, here we go. Let's draw a picture, and remember, you don't have to be able to draw. I'm about to show you that. So this is 41, and so it says, here is the train station. There it is. Okay, so it says that a Central Railway freight train leaves the station and travels due north. So here it is. The freight train is purple, and he's traveling due north at a speed of 60 miles per hour. That is his rate. It says 1 hour later, an Amtrak passenger train leaves the same station and travels due north on a parallel track at a speed of 80 miles per hour. So what that means is, here is my freight train. He's been traveling, and then after an hour of him traveling, this passenger train starts to travel on a parallel track at 80 miles per hour. Now, that is what it looks like. And then it says, how long, that means we don't know how long, we're looking for time. How long will it take the passenger train to overtake the freight train? How long will it take the blue train, who's going a little bit faster than the purple train, and how long will it take him to overtake him? So this is what it means. They're traveling along, they're traveling along, they're traveling along, but he's going a little bit faster, and so at some point he's going to catch him, just like that. So at what point along the way will they be even? That's what we need to know. What is this time? That's what we need to know. What is this time? Okay. So what we have are two distance equals rate time times problem. The purple train and the blue train. So let's talk about the purple guy. What do we know? We know his rate. Okay, it's 60. That's good. We know that his rate is 60. Do we know his time? No, but we know how much the time is related to this. So let's call his time t, okay? Now, let's see. Do we know his distance? No, but we do know that however far he traveled, at the point that he gets overtaken, he's traveled the same amount of time. So we know that the purple distance is equal to the blue distance. That's what we know. Those trains have traveled the same distance. So that's going to be important, because that cuts out some variables for us. So in other words, we can say distance equals to rate times time. It's true. So we can say rate times time of the purple is equal to the rate times time of the blue. What is the purple rate? 60. What is the blue rate? 80. What is the purple time? I don't know. It's t. What is the blue time? Oh, let's think about this. It says that the Amtrak passenger train leaves 1 hour later. He leaves 1 hour later. Who's been traveling longer? He's traveling an hour, and then he starts. He's been traveling longer. 1 hour longer. So we could either say the purple is going to be t plus 1, his amount of time plus 1, or we could say his is this guy's time minus 1, because he's been 1 hour less. So let's do that. The purple guy came second, so we're going to say his travel time, the blue time, is the purple guy's travel time minus 1. That's what we know, because he's traveling 1 hour less. Now these t's are the same one. It's the starting time of the purple guy. We'll solve for t, and we'll know that's how long this guy's been traveling, and that's how long does it take him to overtake it. What they're really asking is, what is the blue guy's time? But let's solve for this t right now. 60t is 80t minus 80. Subtract 80t from both sides and we get negative 20t is negative 80. Divide by negative 20 and we get t is 4 hours. Okay, now what that means is that's how long the purple train's been traveling, because I converted it to his time. But the question is, how long did it take? How long has the purple guy's been traveling? Is 4 hours. That's not what it asked. It said, how long did it take for him to overtake it? So basically they're saying, how long has the blue guy been traveling? 1 hour less than the purple. So it took 3 hours. It takes 3 hours for the Amtrak passenger train to overtake the freight train. Okay, we've got one more problem and then we're done. The last one is a money problem and it involves simple interest. So here's the formula for simple interest. Simple interest I is equal to PRT. I stands for interest, and it means it's the simple interest. P stands for the principal. R stands for rate, and T is time. And in time is in years. This is in years. Rate is in decimal. And principal is the amount of money that you the initial money you either borrow or invest. And so interest is the amount that you accrue. It's like the money you pay on borrowing money for a loan, or it's the money that the bank pays you for letting them keep your money in a savings account. It's money that you pay for money, basically. So that is what interest is. Now, and so if you borrow money, sometimes to say like a 5-year loan, over the course of that loan, you'll pay a whole lot of money in interest. And that's paying the bank for letting them use your money to buy a car or whatever it is you needed to buy. So let's read this problem. Let's do number 35. And it says, Kaya borrowed money from her father at 5% simple interest to help her pay her tuition at Wellington Community College. At the end of 1 year, she owed a total of $1,365 in principal and interest. How much did she borrow? So what you owe, this is an important concept. What you owe at the end of the loan is the principal plus interest. All right, so for instance, if I take out a loan of $100, and this is just so I have easy numbers, and the interest rate is 4%, then I owe $4 for every year that I have that loan. So if I have it for 5 years, I'll have to pay $100 plus 4% times 100, $4, but I have to do that for 5 years, so I have to pay $20 in interest. So what I owe at the end of that is not just the $100, but $120 is how much I owe at the end. So how much I owe is the principal plus the interest I've accrued along the way. So when they tell us this problem, they say, Kaya borrowed money from her father at 5% simple interest to help pay her tuition at Wellington College. Let's write down what we know. We know that the rate of interest is 5%, okay? And then it says that at the end of 1 year, so the amount of time that's passed is 1 year, okay? And then it says at the end of all of that, she owed, this is what they're telling us, what she owes at the end. At the end of all of that, she owed $1,365. That's how much she owed. So how much she owes is equal to the principal, which is how much she initially borrowed, plus the interest. The interest, I'm going to go ahead and substitute that in, is equal to PRT, or the principal times the rate times the time. What is the interest rate? 5%, 0.05. How long has it been going? 1 year. So instead of writing out the word principal, I'm just going to write P. Now, let's just see what we've got here. 1365 is equal to 1 times P plus 0.05 times 1 is 0.05 times P. What's in front of this P is a 1, and what's in front of this P is a 0.05, and these are like terms. So 1, if I call it 1.00 plus 0.05, 1P plus 0.05P is going to give me 1.05P. I wrote it out like this because if I didn't, this confuses people. If I just said, oh, this plus this is 1.05, people get really confused. But they don't, it doesn't bother them if I just add 1 plus 0.05 like this. So it's still the same. 1 plus 0.05 is 1.05 times P is 1365. To solve for P, which stands for principal, which stands for the initial amount, which is what I'm solving for, I divide by both sides by 1.05, and I get that the principal is equal to, let's see here, 1365 divided by 1.05, $1,300. How much did she borrow from her dad initially? $1,300. And so those are a couple of formulas that you will need to know.